just a moment. So keep talking. I want to hear why wasn't it magical? Hey, hooray. You know what? We have two. Oh, I wish my husband had stayed in. He never stays in. So Scott,
Was I late?
no, you're not. We are actually live right now. And honestly, week after week, I will have people who go, I had to finish driving before I came in. I'm like, good, that was safe. Or I've got to pop out at like 25 after. And I'm like, you get to go first. So we are totally live right now. I am still sending some of the information in our chat, but this is the way, I don't know. I woke up, we had just moved into this apartment. And I woke up and I went, I know what I want to do. I want to talk to groups. And we obviously moved in, not this last summer, but the summer before. And I said, I just want groups to talk to each other. I want to hear what they're doing, what this is about. I would just love for people to be able to say, wait a minute, did you say such and such? I've had difficulty with that too. And then I can just sit there and go, look at him go. And Gina, I got to tell you that Vince was on the very first time that I gave this a try. I have not been on live person. I did nothing. I texted and I emailed, and that's all I did. Besides being an in-home caregiver, I was hired to go into homes, and I would go to occupational therapy appointments and go to the pharmacy and I just met so many families, and I thought, I sure wish I could answer their questions. You know, I was the one wearing the badge, the only one in the house wearing a badge. And they'd be like, do you know anything better for this? And then I met people like Vince. And now for the first time, I've been able to meet you. Gina, Vince, have you
Gina.
crossed paths before?
No.
No, it's wonderful to meet you, Vince. Happy New Year. How's it going?
It's going all right. It's a good Christmas. Can't complain. So how about yours?
Fantastic. Yeah, I'm Gina Adams. We're based in Southeast Michigan. So I was able to spend a wonderful holiday with my 2 teenage kids and family. So I wish we had a little bit more snow. It's pretty warm here, but
Yeah,
it's
here
okay.
too.
Wow. Where are you?
I'm in Chicago.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. What part of Michigan?
Detroit, Metro Detroit. So
Okay.
yeah,
I've been up there a few times, meeting with Lake Court, which is in Roseville.
I'm not familiar with them.
Yeah,
What do they do?
They're a distributor, but let's see, who else was up there? I was up there a few times, but it doesn't matter. I'm just.
It does matter. These are the moments that people watch in replay and go, what did he say? Where did he go? That sounds familiar. I love it. Gina, we made a pinky commitment to each other to show up today. And I was like, I could blame the holidays, but I think I've just been off track. I've got people scheduled into February, but I'm like, I kind of forgot about the 5th Wednesday of December. I kind of just forgot to invite people in, and Vincent said, okay, I'll come. So I haven't seen him in about 18 months. And this is so great. Just a moment ago, we had a viewer pop in to say hi, a person I've actually met. I mean, like, I've been in a restaurant in Portland, Oregon with him and some other people that do online things. Michael is just great. You can meet him. He understands marketing. Gina, you and I were talking just before we went live, and you were going, it was like, well, I got to do, and it's like, yes, you got to market. I understand that kind of as an outside person with my nose against the window. So, Gina, since you've been on a bit and we got you all fixed up, my hubby producer, D. Scott Smith, motivational listener, and he is a co-host in other shows and lives. We got you set up for what you do. So I'm going to stop jabbering. It only happens once in a while. So jump right in, Gina.
Well, thank you, Christine. What a nice introduction. Yeah, I'm Gina Adams, the founder of Wearology. I have a background in product development, and after witnessing the impact of Parkinson's on my father, I was inspired to look at the adaptive equipment world and how we could improve people's independence and self-care more, well, to restore levels of or quality of life, right? So
Right.
we launched in 2019, and the name I would like to explain Wearology is that we develop hardware through user experience, research and development collaborations. And so we're really excited that our first invention are a magnetic button adapter called Buttons to Button. But shortly, they are essentially, and we'll do a show and tell shortly, but I just wanted to kind of give a quick snapshot because I know, Vince, it sounds like you were inspired to found Parachair as well through a life personal experience. So yeah, it's exciting. But shortly into the pandemic, we were researching how people with disabilities were disproportionately impacted by the pandemic and discovered that skilled nursing clinicians had patients struggling in quarantine from the aftermaths or effects of immobilization. So we were awarded a contract to collaborate with subject matter experts and develop a new rehabilitation tool called portable parallel bars. So it's been an exciting few years, and I look forward to kind of talking about other assistive devices out there and how we can improve access to mobility.
Oh,
Great. Congratulations.
Hey, Doug Sullivan. Oh, he's like, yep, they're singing my song here. I am so grateful. He says, is 2024 the year that we can improve healthcare for seniors? Let's all say yes, yes. We're not going to go, well, probably we're going to have to wait a few more. California is connecting. Oops, I lost that one, but that's okay. I'm going to get it back. There we go. California is connecting services for Medi with CalAIM. Ooh, see, more information I haven't had before. We're working hard to get the word out. Obviously, Wearology, and Vince, what you're about to give us more information on is not geographically constricted, because everything that I know about each of you, which isn't enough yet, I could have, if I had known, if I had this kind of information, if I could have gone to somebody else's Aging Better Network .com/live, and I could have said, hey, Joneses, Browns, families, you can go there and get this, because that's what everyone was doing. I was serving as a caregiver before and during all the shutdowns of the pandemic. We kept busy after everyone realized it wasn't going to be over with in a few weeks. And it was like, I'm looking online for something that could help with this. And so that's why I do this. I host people like you. Consuela. Oh, she's amazing. She just gets her face there into the rectangle and goes, okay, caregiver, take care of yourself. You need to do these things. This sort of a thing. It's like, put aside the guilt. When you're weary, then both of you could fall. I mean, she just puts it right out there for people. So this is great. Thank you, Michael and Doug and Consuela, for jumping in and saying hello. Vince, we're going to just go back and forth. In fact, I have a feeling after a while, I'm just going to be sitting back and sipping while you two get talking, because apparently this is both beginning with your fathers. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I became a caregiver basically overnight, not knowing what I was getting into and where I was going. But he was a very physical man. He had vascular dementia, and I was the only person he'd let touch him. And so it was a very difficult process, but he did listen to me. But the bathroom process obviously was the hardest part of the day, not only for me physically, but for him stress-wise. And the products that were out there, it was mind-boggling that there weren't better ways to do something in the bathroom. So I kept thinking about my parents' friends that were taking care of each other, and wondering how they were doing it. And one story in particular, my mom's friends, the husband was taking care of the wife. They were early 80s, and he was taking care of her. She was able to still sit in the shower chair and wash herself, but at the end, he had to come in. She had to stand up and hold a handrail, and he had to come in and clean her behind, which to me is an accident waiting to happen. She's standing in soapy water. Any little slip is her upper body strength isn't going to hold her weight. I think grab bars are great to help, get in and out, but to rely on them, I don't think it's a good idea. So as we were going through the process, we had to keep buying different products based on his mobility. And so we had a lot of pieces. And I kept thinking, why don't they have this? Why don't they have that? So I was taking apart his old pieces that we weren't using anymore and making what I thought was the ideal chair. So I built the Perry chair with it's got a unique seat design. It's open front and back. So they wouldn't have to stand in the shower to clean their bottom with this in the soapy water. Because the unique seat design and the versatility of the chair, if they only had a tub shower, they would never have to step in the tub again, because the chair is 4 different pieces. It's a shower chair, it's a transfer bench, raised toilet seat, and a bedside commode, all in one piece. And it never needs to be lifted, which I designed like that so they avoid trips carrying equipment in and out of the bathroom. A lot of the equipment, especially all this plastic stuff, transfer bench 3 feet long. You're trying to get through a doorway, you can't see where you're stepping, going around the sink. But so that's why I designed it not to be lifted. It has, it's on 2 wheels, and the other arm, if you're going to use it in a tub shower, the other arm has a pin release, and the arm slides up so you can roll it right over the tub, and the arm comes back down. And because it's also the second arm folds down, and you can use it as a transfer bench, so you never, even when you have your mobility, you'll never have to step in the tub. And I did that to avoid slips. Basically, the whole idea behind my chair was to prevent that first fall. Because where a lot of the problems are is families, as well as the individual themselves, don't realize they need help until after the first fall, and then coming back from that becomes a lot harder. It just makes the whole process even harder. So after you're done in the bathroom, you can roll the chair into the bedroom, and I have the two seats open up like that, so you could drop the commode bucket straight down. When the seats come up, they stay by themselves, so it's just one-handed top load. So I've been working on this quite a while, making tweaks, and it's been about a five-year venture, but I'm finally on the market now. So
fantastic. Congratulations. Oh my gosh, that's a fabulous story. And I'm sorry for the inspiration being driven by personal experience, but that's where the best designs come from. And that's why it's so important to embrace entrepreneurship such as yours. And it's, you brought up some really important points, especially when you look at a multi-billion-dollar healthcare crisis in patient falls, and the fact that you have a simple solution that is interdisciplinary, and it's one device, and you don't have parts, it sounds like, that you're going to lose. So that was some definite things that we had to take into consideration with our latest portable parallel bars.
Yeah, we had all the other equipment because I still had kids in the house, and we had all the equipment stacked up outside the bathroom. And in fact, one of the hallways outside the bathroom led to my office, but I couldn't even get to that door because that's where everything was. Luckily, I had another door around the side. But just one more quick note with the open back, I also designed it not only for the caregiver to make it easier on the caregiver, obviously on the individual as well, but when the caregiver is needed, I used to have to step across the tub and lift them if somebody was helping me, and if I didn't, I had to push him down and forward, and he's fighting, thinking he's falling. So it was crazy that there wasn't anything. These chairs are what they are, chairs, or the benches are what they are, benches. But the back is open also to take the pressure off the tailbone, because that's where the open wounds start once they start losing their mobility. And when you sit on a hard surface, nobody knows until they're the person sitting on it or realizes something that small is very important.
Yeah, pressure sore monitoring is, again, I'm learning so much as a product developer, collaboration with the clinicians and understanding the prevalence of pressure sores, muscle atrophy, respiratory issues when you can't move people. So it does remind me two things. I want to give a plug for one of our associates called Freedom Wand. When you talk about access and reaching, it might be a nice compliment to your product because of being able to reach them. And so I hope that they're on today. We did give a shout out. But Vince, where are your products available? I'm just curious, like, where are you making the Perry Bench, and how long have they been in the market? How do you
realistically, we're going on the market after the beginning of the year, but right now I'm on a store called Your Supply Store, and they're out of Georgia. I will be probably after the first week. I'll be on a total of 5 different. There's a Rehab Mart. There's a platform. I didn't bring my notes with me. My memory's not good. But I'll be on about 5 different sites probably after the first week of the year, and I will have product at the end of January.
Fantastic. Congratulations.
My manufacturers in Elkhart, my manufacturers in Elkhart, and over the years I was able to move suppliers and things into that area, or find, because I have custom seats that are made. The casters are, which I didn't even mention. Sorry, we re-engineered reverse engineered the wheels. So as soon as you put at least 40 pounds of weight on them, it locks automatically. So there's no top locks to forget the lock. It's a lot safer feature. So there's a bunch of little things that make a huge difference. When you're standing, an older person standing on one foot trying to unlock a wheel or lock a wheel when it's in the shower, that's another danger.
Wow. Kimber Westmore was on a few weeks ago. She is impressed. Inger Van Roy, she knows thousands of people. She's in Canada, and she's saying happy Wednesday to all of us. Doug Sullivan, who is an RN as well as a case manager, and he works with vast amounts of information and people. He really understands this. Becoming pushed into a caregiver for a family member is happening every day, everywhere. And unfortunately, it's not easily navigated. So he is just doing, using his background and also pushing forward for you were working, in other words, you were putting together a better chair, and the whole idea of a pile of stuff to get each part of something happening in probably a room that is maybe 6 by 8, but that includes a tub, a toilet, a sink, maybe some other cabinetry. So it just reduces down to almost nothing. And it is hard on that caregiver to be watching out for themselves, but always thinking this person comes first. This person comes first. And that's the way I felt. I was like, no one is falling. No wet skin will get away from me. And I was asking the same questions. Is there something better? Is there, Gina, you were talking about mobility. It affects everything, the way they're feeling about themselves, what they're able to do, the atrophy, the balance, the fears that are rising from that first wobble, even if they didn't have a trip to the hospital, but they know, wow, why is everything buckling? Why is, my core isn't holding me up anymore? Or do I even know why this is happening? Am I doing my exercises? It doesn't seem that important. Maybe it's really gradual, and it's just like, what's wrong? Why is everything hard now? All of it being addressed in something that can come to where the person is, whether they are in a place where skilled nursing comes in for them, whether they only have a visitor once in a while. This is also fantastic. May I ask, do either of you have your actual equipment like physically with you right now?
I do not. I'm out of town for Christmas. So.
Oh, you are, and you came into this anyway. Oh, I feel so honored. But when we go to your website, we can instantly see that. I love all your descriptions of the pin going in and out, the weight, keeping it stable, but then it being so movable by a person who's physically worn out or just doesn't need to have to use their back again in an awkward way. I'm so grateful for that. Gina, it started with your father. You said Parkinson's. Were you thrust into something that you weren't prepared for, or were you like, nope, we've already been through this? So
it was witnessing the emotional and physical impact on a man that had been, the kind of, he was a brilliant PhD electrical engineer and always, amazing guitar player. And so that loss in dignity, and then of course that ripple effect on the caregivers such as yourself. And so that's really what inspired me to look at solutions to regain at least one activity, such as buttoning, that can be incredibly frustrating and time consuming. And how do you alleviate some of that pressure on the caregivers? But what started out as one dressing aid really blossomed into, again, looking at the isolation of quarantined residents and their immobility and that ripple effect on compounding health issues, as Vince alluded to, from pressure sores to respiratory issues, and really the challenge of our healthcare heroes with time constraints that inspired us to invent mobile parallel bars. And some of the best compliments, we launched, Vince, it's an FDA class 1 foldable tool that rolls into the patient's bedside directly to eliminate these risky transfers and some of the transports down to a rehab gym. And so it is also an interdisciplinary tool that provides, while initially it was physical therapy treatment, occupational to stand, balance, and gait train in the safety of durable parallel bars, which people understand, but we made them accessible by having them fold in a unique single unit manner that has locking pins similar to what you mentioned, Vince. And they set up and take down in less than a minute. And so what has been really rewarding from an inventor's standpoint is observing in hospital settings the ability for patients to stand. One clinician, when they raised him, he immediately had to use the bathroom, which is common after you've been laying down for a while. And the clinicians looked at me and they're like, oh my goodness, this is so much easier to care for them for this daily activity, right? Activities of daily living, ADLs, in a more dignified and easy, accessible manner versus using a bedpan. And so that's how we've been able to gradually relay our message to both clinicians who are using it for treatments as well as nurses for ADLs. And so I just wanted to kind of piggyback on these inventions that are helping both at home therapy, and while ours originally was designed for ICU acute care settings, it's now being used for prosthetic casting in areas of physical therapy rehab sites where they have limited space, as well as home health.
That's great. Congratulations.
Yeah, I remember it rolls to its next location. So it could go room to room. What if it isn't even about the bathroom? They just really want that book over there. I just see families like both of yours who are just going, there's got to be a better way. I see the emotional impact. What can I provide that at least gives them the opportunity to go, I just feel like getting that right now, and I don't want to bother someone else. I don't want to be a burden. I would just like to be able to make a decision. I just see someone being able to use that. The person who is doing well after maybe a stroke or a surgery or a disease-related situation, and it's like, wow, we could purchase that. They can use it while they are recovering, and it gives us more peace of mind. We know that they can make it just across the room to go fill up their water cup or whatever it is they want to get to. They being me, I could have the next physical or brain related situation, and I could really be difficult. I could feel like, oh, I'm so frustrated that I can't just do this next part just myself, and to be able to use these parallel bars and use them correctly, like remembering what I learned at OT to, at PT this week. And it's like, I'm supposed to, and then, set myself this way and up and down, and just feeling like, yes, 1 point for me. It isn't always someone coming over going, I am going to be busy, so let's take care of everything you're going to need for the next hour and a half right now. And it's like, I can't think of everything. So, and that's the way that I predicted myself. I was in my 50s and turning it, into my 60s. And here was a person looking at me in all the decades beyond me, including their hundreds, and saying, inside, I feel like I'm you. I feel like I'm in my 50s. I have an idea. I would like to, if I could just go get my item that I just feel like working on right now. And I was doing a lot for them, but I was also trained. One of the places that I worked for was like self-determination. They have got to not feel like you're like, don't move. You might, you might, it's like, yeah, I would be adding stress if I was constantly feeling like, don't do anything without me. And also being condescending, not meaning to, but so I love all of this. Even though we are nowhere near the end, rather than being pressed at the end, do you have particular ways that each of you would like to be contacted, for business things? Is there a way that you would like to be contacted to be on somebody else's show, or to be invited to be on a clubhouse meeting that has to do with aging or something? So just go ahead and let us know if there's something that really works for you so that people can get a hold of you. Which one would like to start?
Go ahead, Gina.
Well, thank you for that opportunity. So certainly you can go to our website at www.wearology, which is spelled, and it'll be in the chat here, and hopefully it's underneath my name.
Yeah,
but that will provide a nice overview of the different products that we carry, but primarily the portable parallel bars, which for home health, to speak to Christine's point about, maintaining your health and being able to weight bear and stand with confidence. These were developed because walkers on wheels can be unsafe, but we know that exercise, eating healthy, and sleep are the 3 key ingredients to longevity and improvements in recovery. And so at wearology.com, we'd love to hear from you. And then, of course, you can reach out to us either on LinkedIn or at our email. And I would put that in the chat box, except I don't think I have access to it. So info@wearology.com works. Thank you.
I did reach out to you on LinkedIn yesterday, Gina.
Oh, fantastic. Great. Yeah, no, I would like to touch base with you after, because, we also manufacture in Michigan, and it's an exciting, I have tons of admiration for you that you are both a caregiver and an inventor, because commercializing a product is not an easy feat.
Yeah, I thought I was going to be using it before I got it to market.
Understood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was an easy process.
5 years.
I think,
5 years.
pardon me? 5 years.
You said this has been a 5-year project or process. Everything, because it isn't just doing a really great thing. Then you have to, hey, how do we get it from a small reach to completely accessible? Those families are at home right now looking online going, what can we get? Yeah. I don't even know what this, do they have anything? And people not knowing what questions to ask, because in many situations, it isn't a recovery. There is restoration, but there is going to be a decline, because that is living. Like you said, you thought, I'm going to be needing this by the time it actually goes to market. Vince, I'm in your way. How would
That's
you
right.
like to be contacted, either to be a guest on another show or when you're back at home? I'm so glad that you're often visiting and enjoying others in this holiday time. And I can't believe you came on my show, even though. Thank you.
4 grandchildren now. I just had 2 more in the last couple months, so it's been
Oh,
great seeing everybody. Yeah. But I think for me, it's the easiest way is my email, which is Vince@PerryChair. It's PERI chair. My website I'm still working on, although it does take orders and things. But as far as the information, I would like to send like the Your Supply Stores ad on their site, because they did a really nice job, and you can see the different features and things like that. There's even a short video of how it's used.
are you able to type that into the comments? There's a private chat, and then next to that on my screen, next to private chat is comments. There's just a lot of things that I'm hearing about for the first time. And I think Gina, there was at least one or two that she was like, let me jot down on a note about that. It's wonderful to be informed. I think it's very clever that you chose Perry Chair. I had to learn what Perry Care was, and that is the part of your skin where it's all about the toilet, but it is, what did I used to say? Everyone deserves clean, comfortable, healthy, dignified skin. If I am having a private issue, I want my doctor to help me fix it. What am I doing? Do I need to change my diet? Do I need to have some sort of product? Do I need to be taking some pills? What is it that's going to take care of that? And it's how awful to even be uncomfortable just sitting during the day because there isn't the amount of cleanliness needed right there. And there's a person, both of you should know if you don't already. It's Maria Lindberg. She does toilet talk. Like, let's just speak about skin folds and everything. And she does the beautiful side of helping people to design their more accessible, something that I call U+2. If you are using the bathroom, you haven't had an incident, maybe no diagnosis, but now you're finding it difficult to leave that toilet safely, would there be enough room for maybe 2 medium-sized people to be able to help each other? Because maybe they aren't professionally trained and they don't even know, oh my goodness, every time I yank, I am adding to the problem by making their shoulders sore. Or how do I coach a person to help themselves raise up, help me to help them, so that we don't have more problems? So she helps people design beautiful bathrooms, and she knows products that there's a lot of people who are like, you are not going to turn my home into a hospital. So, and there is a point where it just needs to be really good gear. It just that they have confidence in. It's like, this thing looks solid. I feel like the bathroom is no longer my adversary, something to avoid, because then you get into urinary tract infections and not making it there and being embarrassed to go out in public anymore because it's like, am I going to embarrass myself? And everything incontinence, it's dominoes. It's like, I have seen those videos of dominoes being set up, thousands of them. And I'm going, how do you have the nerve to do that? One little click and it just all goes down. They must leave out some on the way. But anyway, it was
That's
fun.
why
It was a few minutes. Go ahead.
That's why bidets are so prevalent. I think it's a good accent to.
I even thought about adding one to my chair, but
Absolutely.
but with my frame, it's still a possibility down the road, but I have tried that. So. But another important thing, just to go back, when a man sits on a bench, and not to be too graphic, but as you get older, the scrotum drops on a man.
Right.
And when he was sitting on the plastic transfer bench, he got so irritated. And I had to go underneath and pull it out for him to be comfortable, but it happened over and over. So it's another simple solution or benefit from the chair, and just having one piece of equipment in the bathroom the entire time, so you're not walking around one to get to another. It's slips, trips, and falls. That's what it was all about, the design. But I'm pretty creative with material things, but I'm not too good on the computer, so I don't know where to type.
Oh, yeah. Don't worry about it. But I don't know. Everything that you've said, I just need to go and look these things up. And there's just so many people who have said over this last 18 months, 17 months, have said, I just want to create a hub so when people land at my spot, they can get all that information. And I was going, I have felt the same way. I do not want a person who's experiencing challenges that are typically age-related to feel embarrassed about the fact that they are experiencing bodily things that everyone is going to experience. I don't want people who are caring, loving someone else, wanting the best for them, to go, I just caused that person more pain because I just didn't know. I'm just not familiar with older bodies or injured bodies, or what water makes causes a disconcerting feeling for certain types of dementia and having water splashing on. One gal goes, how simple was it to change to a raindrop shower for my mother instead of something that was really vigorous and getting her clean that she used to enjoy? It was like, oh, my back, this is great. Just a raindrop one. Learning things like, if you can get part of that person clean each day, by the end of the week, they will have clean, healthy, dignified skin, because unwashed skin isn't just smelly. It becomes, I don't even know what to call it. It turns into elephant skin. It turns rough. And if that person can no longer tolerate touch or water splashing or the sounds or the echo in typical bathrooms, you're just like, I don't feel like I'm helping now. So
I think you and I had touched on this last time, Christine. I think part of my push. I think it's really important to educate the sandwich generation, which is a term that I use for, and it's been used before. But when you have an older parent living with you and you still have younger kids. So I think it's key to educate those people as well as individuals itself, the people that don't know, like myself, that came in, had no idea what to use, what I was going to have to do, and what it entailed. So, yeah, it's definitely about information and getting it out there.
Gina, when you were graduating from high school, imagine how many people were asking you, so what's next? What do you have plans for? And the thought is that you're going to go on to something new. Very few people say, well, I've enjoyed high school so much. I think I'd just like to stay here for a few more years. With your mortarboard on, I would just like to stay. Most people are moving on, and it involves being trained, being given options. You've got counselors for college, trade school. You've got friends who are a little bit older and are saying, hey, you know what? You are really good on the computer and you could probably blah, 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 like I've been doing. You want to take a gap year and travel. Wouldn't it be great if there was a point at which people just naturally said, hey, you know what? You're entering the same age that I am. Let me tell you about these, spots that you can, websites where you can go and you can know that there are questions you need answers for in the future. You can get, you can take a gap year as your children are young and your parents are living into their longevity, but not looking for assistance at this point. Wouldn't it be great if that was just natural? And people would say, oh, you know what? I would start with wearology so that you can, do this. And then you want to make sure that you understand about the most, it's the third spot. It gets to the point where there's a favorite place to sit, maybe at the table, it may be in a relaxing chair. There's the bed.
Perry chair?
Oh, I was saying there's 3 spots as people are aging. Yes, the Perry chair. It doesn't recline, but you've got your bed, you've got your bathroom, and you've got that other part in your home when mobility is a difficulty. And it's like, wouldn't it be great if people just came to the point where they're going, you should know all these things so that you can stick it on one of those doodads on your device, whatever it's going to be in the future. And when you need it, you know where it is. There's all the websites. That's what I'm trying to do with agingbetternetwork.com, especially /live, is that someone can go, you know what? I just need to listen to this talk show. Well, I'm taking care. I'm making sandwiches for the kids. I'm getting ready to go to work. I just need to listen and go, I did not know that that was a problem. I didn't know that that was a solution. So, Gina, you said before we went on live, you said, I got to go get my prop. So do you have something in hand?
Well, I did bring our buttons to share with everybody if you'd like to see that.
Yeah.
And just to kind of tag along, I think let me see if I can remove the background, because what I realize is that it's hard to see, but I might not be able to do it while we are actually in process here. Well, maybe that will work.
You did it.
So, yeah. But just to kind of, people are still listening at this point. We've been on for a while, but if they're still on, the caregiver component, I think, which is what you're trying to offer here, is a support network for people to understand what tools are out there and how they can really simplify a very complex process, where caregivers are the backbone of our aging population. And as we grow older and it becomes a larger, it's, there's going to be housing shortages. And so the more tools and innovations that we can come up with to identify, perhaps, obviously using AI is, for me, the most exciting thing that's coming in terms of long-term patient in-home monitoring. And they have of course, screens now, but with the alert systems that are available. So there's two things. First of all, how can we provide safer home environments for our loved ones? And then also the support of the caregivers, which is, I know clinicians who administer physical and manual therapy account for over half of the workforce injury claims. And so to your point earlier, Vince, as you're lifting up your patients in the proper way to do that, it's so vital that we're providing the right tools for individuals to have the confidence to bear safely and take some of that pressure off of our loved ones. So I just wanted to point that out. That's, this is a great resource that we are able to support people, but I did bring a tool. I did bring a demonstration. So, this is the most simplest thing you can imagine, sold in sets of 9. What we do is my stepfather, he had a closet of button-up shirts that illustrated so they're sold in sets of 9. Oops, I just lost the button. And it works so simple. You just take your shirt, if you have they fit, the first thing is there's a size, right? So not all buttons are made equal, just like humans. So you put this up to your button to see if it's the right size buttons. They fit like traditional men's shirt buttons. And then this is our proprietary. My son played video games, and I'm like, that's interesting. So my inspiration was his video game thumb controls. And so these just pop onto your button, your existing button. And then you take the button hole, and there is a magnetic ferritic piece that sticks through the hole. Oops. And I created it's basically a fake button. So you're reversing your lapels. And then what you can do is they just snap in place. So that is how buttons to buttons. So you can do an entire lapel. And it's just a super fun. They're magnetics, right? So, arthritis, 90 million people suffer from arthritis. So anybody with like a neuropathy, this is just an easy way for people to dress and undress independently. So that's it. Fun.
Okay.
Stuff.
I thought you were going to show us clothing, like buy my line of clothing, and then, which means that a person has to change what they.
No,
it's my clothes. If I really like this and I want to button it, and so I just measure your style, right there.
Your unique individual personality. It's somewhat, we want to be sustainable, of course, in our world. And so it's a way that you can, retrofit your own wardrobe.
That's great.
Yeah.
I had, I think it was on Shark Tank. I saw this, it's a magnet under your shirt, and it's just a hook to put your glasses on. And I thought that was a great thing because I was always losing my glasses, but I lost that too.
You mean you bought the product?
Yeah. Yeah. And I was using it.
And then it's great. Like, where did it go? Oh my goodness.
Yep. I love
it. That sounds like me.
Yeah, that was a whole nother engineering education in magnetism and manufacturing with magnets. And so it's been fun. Yeah, Wearology, we've been around for 5 years. So I know what you're saying, Vince, about, it's a long, that product development journey. But we're very fortunate, as I mentioned, because the portable parallel bars were developed under contract by the Veterans Health Administration. So that has been huge support for us with regards to product development and the marketing side of it. So we're lucky.
What do you say when people, go ahead.
Is it covered by Medicaid?
No, parallel bars exist in the world. They're a physical therapy tool. And so they do not have a CPT code. But fortunately, I think because of the unique proprietary compact size, they fold and put it in, you can just store them in the closet. So they're not taking up a tremendous amount of space, which with our healthcare system and the way they're redesigning a lot of the physical therapy gyms, there's just huge space constraints. So ours fold up and can store underneath a high-low mat, which is what they'll often transfer a patient to a gym if they need to, or as we mentioned, in a home, just to be able to continue to safely do your physical therapy, because once a week is not going to cut it, people. You have to do your physical therapy 2 to 3 times a day. You have to move safely to keep your health and regain strength. So
I think it's a great idea, just because there's a lot of people that it's a hassle just to get the therapy, So for you bringing it into the house and keeping them active, I think that's a great idea.
Wow. And all of your products, they're like pre-care. They're that I heard that for the first time. Everything that you've been talking about is preventing that first fall due to atrophy or loss of balance, preventing that first fall for both the individual who needs to sit in the peri chair and the individual who is trying to navigate physical and brain issues at the same time, and physical needs. I'm so grateful for both of you. It's like we're entering a new conversation here about, Medicaid, and why isn't there a third thing that automatically provides, that it pays for the things that you need, even if it's temporary, to just regain something after, to regain your mobility after you've had an incident or a long time at the hospital or whatever it was. I just feel like we have another conversation going. You two can continue and exchange information. LinkedIn is a way to find both of these people. For everyone out there who says, wait a minute, I want them to come and talk on my show. So Abby Ritchie, I'm just throwing her name out there. I was on her 100th episode just yesterday, popped in late. The host is like the worst guest. Popped in late, and she's going, we're off to another CES. We're doing all these things. We're going to see all this stuff, all these people in this huge room with all the, and I'm just thinking, what a fascinating life to actually see all the new innovations. She does Tech Tuesday, and tech is pins going in and out of things. It isn't just computers. It isn't just AI, but it's that too. It all comes together for us to know what's going wrong and what can I do to make it right, make it better. I am so grateful to both of you. We're at the end of our hour. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you both met each other. I'm just going to wave goodbye and say Happy New Year.
Thank you, Christine. You too.
Thank you, Christine, so much.
I'll talk to you soon.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So my email is still incorrect.